How's it going, everybody? It is officially the end of the week, right? The last day of the week. The weekend is here. It is Friday, payday for most, or payday for some, and party day for the others, right? Y'all be careful out there. But over here on this channel, what it means to be the end of the week, it is that it is time for the weekly wrap up video. Now, I'm still trying to figure out a proper format for this idea here, but nonetheless, this is how we're going to do it here today. We're just going to go through a couple of the videos that we did this week, just kind of as a refresher, nothing too long. And then, we're just going to give our weekly synopsis of what happened all week. And without further ado, if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. And let's get into it. So first here we had the two teenagers, right, that showed up at somebody's property because their friend, I guess what I got out of this video anyway, is that the friend was having a dispute, I guess, with his mother, maybe. Um, you know, basically when they should have stayed out of his family's business, his family issues. And things didn't work out too well for the young girls, right?
I beat the
She was saying that we're off drugs and
yeah,
alcohol.
she was on the phone to the police the whole time saying we're on drugs and alcohol. Obviously, we're sober. We don't do that. We
And
go
she
to
told us
college.
to get off her property.
And then
we got
Omani
off.
was just waiting right here, and then he had the phone recording. The girl smacked the phone out the hand. Okay, cool. So he's still right there, and then the girl pushed him into all that, like assaulting him, until on the ground.
Now, notice the framing on how they're saying this here. The girl, when it was actually his mother, right? And so this whole altercation here ended up with them, the two right there, going to jail. And I believe that they were charged with assault because they had threatened the mother, saying that they would beat her up or that they would go get their parents to beat her up or whatever. No matter how you frame it, a threat is a threat. And yeah, they found out the hard way, right? And then in this video here, this was a guy that was arguing with his ex-girlfriend. It was clear to see that he is the one that invited her over. And maybe she asked or she begged or she pleaded or whatever. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he is the one that opened the door for her and let her in, and things, I mean, they went the typical way that you would think that they would go, right? It led to another argument. Things got a little bit violent. And, well, let's take a quick listen.
In my house, snatched the game. Yes, she did pay for the game. Like, it was a gift. Yes, she did pay for the game. It was a gift. But, so how are you getting mad coming here and taking shit, trying to break my shit? Like, they put my hands on this girl. Like that's not fair. Like.
And this right here is the young lady that was in question.
I've heard you say it like 20 times. Just chill out, let us do our thing, okay?
I've been saying this shit for an
Yeah, but it's
hour.
not changing anything, so what's your name?
Ashley, we talking, we've been beefing for a minute, we have a child
Is there a
together.
physical fight with you guys?
He put his hands on me, he always puts his hands on me.
And then, the typical he puts his hands on me thing, but you are the one that keeps running to it. And you can see that she's holding the video game, or at least the cords to the video game, in her hand. And allegedly, she took those cords and whipped him, right? treated him like a son. I mean, your mama broke out the belt, not just the belt, but the cords, right? And absolutely amazing to see. But this altercation also led to the young lady going to jail, and I believe the charges she received were domestic violence charges. And then we also have the young girls at the mall over here, right? Let's take a quick peek, quick refresher.
Instead of arguing with the man, would have been producing an identification card and letting him read it.
He read it.
That's not what he said. Were you able to read your identity? Huh?
You trying to be tough, like get your game ass.
All right. So a simple solution would have been
Acting like you feel it. Hold up, you want to know what they know what they did.
well, if you're
That's
not,
what we tell you. I
if
showed
you're being
them my
walking away and not talking to him. Yeah, I do that too.
You got your ID on you?
No, I
You
don't.
said I got one ID.
What's your first name?
Right, that's the one I showed him.
What's your first name?
Right, my mom just said that.
Hey, you gotta tell me.
My mom just said my.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys here. She has an extremely lost look on her face. Like she just has no idea what's going on or even where she is, right? She just looks empty and lost. But this altercation here, for some reason, I guess the security guard or the police officer, I'm not sure which one it was, but a law enforcement person or an authority figure had asked all three of them for their IDs. Now, the story is being told allegedly that only one actually produced the ID while the rest refused, or they thought that one ID out of the three of them should be sufficient. And it turned out to be a much bigger problem simply because they were refusing to cooperate. They wanted to overtalk. They wanted to mock, poke fun. As you saw, the one person was saying, I only saw one ID, calling them lames and all of this other stuff, um, making the situation worse, right? And it did lead to all three of them going to jail. I believe one of them got an assault with a weapons charge, and they all basically got disorderly conduct charges. And I believe like resisting or refusing or something like that. It's obstruction. And now, finally, the controversial video here, and I wanted to go ahead while I'm here. Might as well take the time to respond to this person here, Twan Crush, right? What she did ain't right, but you sound like you are a hater. Uh, you sound like a hater that she's successful in in a black and woman. Very broken up sentence there, but I'm a hater. You know, if that's the case, then I must have a whole lot of hate in my heart because there's a whole lot of black successful people. Now, what I do hate within our community, or just not even within our community, I don't need to try to use proper terms here. I hate it out of any of our celebrities, political figures, whoever, social media stars, whatever, right? I do hate the fact that our culture consistently props up idiots, right? We prop up, it seems like, the worst of the worst, the ones that continuously do dumb stuff. Because what we have to remember is the people that we decide to idolize, the people that we decide to worship, the people that we decide to give millions of views to and give them their celebrity status. These are also going to be the people that our kids or the younger generations or whatever else look up to. And even some people that are exact same age or maybe even older, they look up to these people. And it seems like they kind of hang on every word or every action that these people do. So these people are influencing almost our whole entire country, right? Because the country is just made up of the people. And if you influence the people to act a certain way, dress a certain way, think a certain way, or whatever, you are now influencing your whole country. And considering the fact that our country, it does need help in a lot of different areas, right? And I hate to quote the Spider-Man movie here, but with great power comes great responsibility. And we need all of our so-called celebrities, these people that have these platforms to influence thousands or even millions, right? We need these people to be on the best behavior as possible, right? Or at least when there's any cameras around, please present yourself in the best light. So this way our people the ones that follow you, the ones that consistently watch your videos, the ones that gives you likes, the ones that buy your merch, the ones that go to your shows or your events or whatever else. Let them see you in the best. So this way, if they do decide to mimic anything that you are doing, they're only mimicking your best actions. They don't see what you're doing behind closed doors or when the cameras are off. That's fine because then they can't be influenced by it because they had no idea what it is that you was doing in the first place, right? So the things that you do in public, the things that are going to get released to the internet, please make sure that they are the best versions of you. But really quick, let's just take a quick refresher course on the whole Sha'carri Richardson arrest video.
The back is like literally on 29.
So you're driving at 100. Hold on. You're driving at 104 miles an hour in a 65-mile-an-hour zone with subpar equipment, flashing people to get out of your lights, out of your lane, following too close, using every lane to pass everybody, cutting me off, passing a car on the inside shoulder with their hazard lights on. You're going.
Hold on. You're going to jail, right? And I'm gonna cut myself off there. So this video did end up with Sha'carri Richardson going to jail. I'm not 100% sure what she was charged with, but I do know they have the super speeders law to where if you're over, I think it's like 25 to 30 miles an hour over the speed limit, you can now be charged as a super speeder, which I'm pretty sure would end up getting you a reckless driving charge. So what I was trying to do here this week is I was trying to see what is one thing that all three of these individual cases seem to have in common. And the one thing that I did notice is that they all seem to have the excuse and lack accountability traits in common, um, constantly blaming whatever it was that was around. So I'll give you an example. These two lovely young lady here, they decided to blame the mom, right? They were blaming everything on the mom. The mom did this, the mom did that. She doesn't even care about her son. We take better care of her son than she does, right? The young ladies here were blaming the security guard. We showed him our ID, but he wanted more, and he's just being a jerk and blah blah blah. So they kept consistently blaming the security guard. Here, she's blaming the boyfriend, even though she is the one that's showing up at his house, but she's blaming him, saying that this happens every time that they get together. He acts weird. He does this. He beats me. He does the most. And then right here, we have Sha'carri Richardson that blamed everything inside of her vehicle. Is the fact that the vehicle is slightly new. She's not 100% used to it yet. It was in sport mode or turbo mode. Her phone slid across these little buttons here. Her tire pressure was a little bit low. You know, everything but herself, right? Blaming everything within the vehicle besides herself that was also within the vehicle. So I think my synopsis would be is that it seems like majority of people just do not want to take self accountability. So let's end the video with that, right? We're not gonna say the blame game, lying, whatever else. It really seems like they were just simply dodging taking any accountability at all, right? In all of these scenarios, nobody wanted to take any accountability for their actions. And I understand that maybe taking accountability may be a little bit hard for some people to do. It hurts, right? And not only is it a blow to your ego, but it's kind of a blow to your whole entire core. And it's like, man, I'm the mess up here. I'm the one that's doing something wrong. And it's just a pill that you have to swallow in order to get the cure, right? You have a certain type of illness. This pill right here is the cure, and it may be a hard pill to swallow, but somehow you have to figure out how to swallow it. Um, and it is like a inward looking thing, right? I guess the hardest shame is when you're ashamed of yourself, right? That might be the hardest shame when you can be ashamed of a loved one, right? Or a loved one could be ashamed of you, and that's one step. But I think the biggest and hardest one to accept is when you look at the mirror and you are ashamed of what it is that you see. And then a lot of people, whatever their circumstances may be, whatever their environments may be, they don't want to go against the grain, right? Because now, because of the fact you go against the grain a little bit, you're being shamed for that. Believe me, I know, right? Being black, being a Republican or whatever, or not subscribing to the so called black culture or whatnot, I get shamed a lot. And what's funny to me about all of that is throughout all of the shaming, and a lot of it comes from within, right? People that I'm close to or people that I should be close to. Um, but it does not phase me. Now, maybe that comes with age, right? Or maybe it's because of the fact, I'm independent, I'm on my own, and I don't really care because I don't, the people that are shaming me, y'all actually have no impact on my life, right? Even if you were to completely out me, cut me off 100% or whatever else, never talk to me again, I will still be fine. I still have my household family here. We've built our life together. So, it's like this right here is my force field. It is my protection. So no matter what comes from the outside, it's not actually penetrating the walls that we have built here. And I think that's what a lot of people may need, right? You may need some form of force field, right? And mainly for people that don't have nothing, that main force field is going to be from self of knowing that you are doing the right thing, from self of knowing that you are on the correct path, for self of knowing that you are the type of person that cares about other people and not just emotionally but physically as well. Self knowing that you do not want to cause harm to others, self knowing that you take accountability for your actions, and do not place blame anywhere else but on yourself. Because at the end of the day, even if it was just a case of wrong place, wrong time, you still need to take account of the fact that you are the one that chose to go there at that time. Nobody forced you to. So even if it was just a complete accident and you still had the choice to be there at that location at that time. So even if, let's just give you a wild scenario, right? You at Walmart, and then all of a sudden, while you're within Walmart, an active shooter comes in, and hey, you catch one of the stray bullets. Well, yes, we can all blame the shooter, and I will grant the fact that the shooter would be 90%, if not 99% wrong in that case there. But the 1% is of the fact you still need to take accountability of the 1%. And that fact is that you are the one that chose to go to Walmart at that time. So, fact of the matter is, man, it's a interesting thing to practice. And I encourage everybody out there that no matter what happens to you over the course of this weekend, that means today, as soon as this video is over, try this game out here. Take responsibility, own, take accountability, own whatever happens to you throughout the rest of this weekend. And it doesn't matter what it is. If you're driving down the street, God forbid this happens to anybody, but if you're driving down the street and some other car hits you in the back while you're stopped at the light, oh well, find a way to say, you know what, I take my responsibility in this action too as well. Maybe you could have just stayed home. Maybe you decided to take a Uber. Maybe you could have decided to ride your bicycle. You know, there's still things that you could have done differently too that wouldn't have put you at that exact moment at that exact time. Not saying that it's your fault, just saying it's a fun game to play, and it teaches you how to actually take accountability when circumstances do arise that are your fault, right? It's just easy practice. All right. So I want everybody out there that's watching the video today to try that out over the course of this weekend. And on Monday's video, let me know down in the comment section how that worked out for you. Or if you can't wait until Monday's video, you can always find me on all social media platforms at Click That Reacts. Or you can also email me at clickthatreacts@gmail.com, right? So email me your stories. Let me know how that works out for you on Monday. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and end it there. I hope everybody goes out there, have a wonderful weekend, spread a little bit of joy and happiness. Um, just who out everybody that you meet, anybody that you even walk past, right? Walk past them with a smile on your face. If you can spark up a small leisurely conversation like, oh, wonderful weather we're having today, huh? I'm just kidding, man. It don't have to be that corny, but I'm just saying, man, let's make the world a better place. And it starts with you. It starts with the person that you see in the mirror. All right. But what do I know, right? I'm just Click That Reacts, and I just appreciate each and every single one of y'all rocking out with me and continuing to stick with me. Thank y'all so much. I love each and every one of y'all. Before y'all leave, please share this video with a friend. Click that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss an upload from me. And as always, I'll see y'all in the next one.